Hey guys, how you doing? In a couple of videos previous to this one, we've talked about some different aspects of choosing a food for your pet. In one, we talked about determining a protein source. In another, we talked about choosing a food for your pets that may be suffering with food allergies. In this video, what I'd like to do is talk with you a little bit about pet food labeling. Now, there's a lot of great information out there about how to read and understand what's on a pet food label. But what I want to talk to you about really kind of goes beyond what you see on the label. Because unfortunately there is a loophole that some pet food manufacturers do take advantage of. And that loophole is this. Anything that happens to that raw material, anything that's added to that raw material before they receive it, they are not required to list that in their ingredients listing. So for example, let's say that they have someone that supplies beef to them, and that supplier treats that meat with BHT or BHA. They are not required to list that preservative in their ingredients list. Now, the pet food manufacturer themselves may use vitamin E as a preservative, and you will see that in the label. Unfortunately, you will not be aware of the fact that the BHT or the BHA was already present. So you might look at a pet food label and see that it starts out with whole chicken, followed by a chicken meal, followed by whole barley, and then perhaps a fish meal on the ingredients list. Well, initially you're going to think this is a pretty damn good food because, geez, out of the first 4 ingredients, 3 of them are meat sources, 2 of them are meat meals which are high protein. It's got to be some pretty good stuff. The problem arises in the fact that you don't know what happened to that raw material before the pet food manufacturer got it. Here's a good example of what I'm talking about. Recently I was looking at 2 different foods for my dogs. Both of them were fish formulas. Now, it was my understanding that there was a federal mandate requiring that any fish not meant for human consumption be treated with ethoxyquin as a preservative. And this was a little bit of a concern for me, so I decided to contact the pet food manufacturers. The first one was very open and forthcoming. They shared a great deal of information about their processing procedures, and they also went to great pains to show me that they have a special permit and that they pay their supplier extra to treat their fish with vitamin E as a preservative, and so therefore their fish is totally ethoxyquin free. The second manufacturer, well, they kind of gave me the runaround. The first thing they told me was that their supplier's information was proprietary. As a matter of fact, they were not even willing to share the name of the supplier with me so that I could contact that company myself with my questions. Then they proceeded to tell me that any ethoxyquin that might be present in the fish would be cooked out in the processing. When I asked them what temperature they cooked their food at, they were hesitant to tell me that as well. The whole point is this. You need to know that the pet food manufacturer is on the up and up and of the highest caliber. Now, there are a lot of great pet food manufacturers out there. I mean, you could look at Origin, Natura, Wysong, Solid Gold. The list just goes on. And most of these companies are more than willing to answer your questions and address any concerns that you may have. If, however, you contact a pet food company and they're hesitant to share any information with you, I'd be hesitant to feed that food to my pet. Thanks for your time, guys. Look forward to seeing you again real soon.